So it's no secret that South African car buyers are becoming increasingly value conscious. I mean, with rising interest rates, constantly fluctuating petrol prices, and I'm sure we can all name a bunch of things. It's quite nice to see that there are some brands out there doing their bit to soften the blow on South African motorists with some really good value for money products. And this is one of them. I'm Dean Friederich. Welcome back to the channel. This is the Suzuki Baleno. Come take a look. So this is the second generation Suzuki Baleno, which was launched in South Africa a few months back. And to be quite honest with you, I didn't really have all that much of an issue of what the first generation Baleno looked like. I thought it looked okay. Hey, it wasn't a bad looking car. It looked alright. It had a little bit of a questionable bum, but it's okay. I could forgive it. But this looks absolutely awesome. I really love the look of this car. I think it looks stylish. It looks like something that would be very, very comfortable in the city. This is a very good looking urban hatchback. So this model that I am testing at the moment, this is the 1.5 GLX. So there's two different trim levels. You get GL and GLX, and both are offered in either manual or auto. I'm driving the manual at the moment. And in terms of what this looks like in comparison to the other version, the GL, there are some exterior accents and giveaways that let you know that this is the higher trim level. For example, the 16-inch alloy wheels, the chrome trimmings along the back, if I'm not mistaken, some chrome bits and bobs on the doors and stuff like that. So there are some exterior giveaways that do let you know, and I quite like the extra bits and bobs and the extra trimmings. I think that it makes it look very nice, you know, gives it a little bit more of like a stylish edge, and I appreciate that about it. So the lower spec looks slightly different, but mechanically they are all exactly the same, and this interior looks really good as well. I really like the look and the layout of this interior. So speaking of interior, this is a very comfortable place to be, and loaded with spec. That is something that has stood out to me almost immediately with this Baleno, is just how well this car is kitted out, and the value for money aspect and value offering really stands out very, very early on when you start to kind of like, you know, look into this car and figure out how it's put together and what it offers. So this GLX model is kitted out with just about everything. And when I say just about everything, I mean it. I mean, I think the only two things that I can think of that this car doesn't have is heated seats and a sunroof. Other than that, there's everything in here. I mean, from safety, you've got 6 airbags, you've got ESP, you've got ABS, you've got all those lovely bits and bobs, and then to spec, all these nice things that make it comfy. You've got climate control, you've got this nice 9-inch infotainment screen with Apple CarPlay, with Android Auto, all your functions and everything that you would want in here. You've got a heads-up display. I mean, what? Like, when I first got this car on test and I saw that it had a heads-up display, I thought, yes, like it, hey? Suzuki is like, hulle al uit en wys nou hierso. And I really appreciate it because it's really cool to see how they're offering really good value for money. You've got multifunction steering, you've got cruise control, you've got Bluetooth. Here's your Bluetooth controls over here. And something that this GLX model has that I quite like as well is there's like a, how can I explain it? This is like some like shiny, it looks like it's supposed to be like metal or something, but it's obviously plastic. But they've got this finish here on the steering wheel, which actually feels quite nice to touch while you're driving. It makes it feel very sort of premium inside here. And I really enjoy that. You've then of course also got other functionality like electric adjustable mirrors, electric windows all around, all the nice bits and bobs and extras and things like that that, you know, we have all come to know and enjoy and expect from a new car these days. So it's really awesome to see that Suzuki is offering you such a good looking product at such a really good price. So seeing as I've just mentioned price, I think it would be a good time to speak about how much a new Baleno will cost you. So at the time of filming this video in January 2023, the Baleno range starts from just under 232,000 Rand. That would be for the GL, the lowest spec in manual, and goes all the way up to just over 300,000 Rand for this GLX trim level in auto. I'm driving the manual, which is a 5-speed manual transmission, which, to be quite honest with you, I would rather recommend over the auto. Specifically because the auto is a 4-speed, and I don't know how comfortable and how fuel efficient that's going to be. Around town, I don't think it would be an issue, but if you are somebody who's going to do highways and things like that quite often, I don't know if auto would be a good idea. Just because a 4-speed sounds like it would rev really high. And for me personally, that would kind of get on my nerves eventually. So I think I would rather recommend the manual over the auto. And also it's like 20,000 Rand cheaper to go for the manual instead of the auto. So why not, you know? Speaking of mechanics, manual and auto and what have you, all Baleno models have the same engine. So it's a 4-cylinder, 1.5 litre naturally aspirated engine that produces 77 kilowatts and 138 Newton meters of torque. And I have had no issues with this engine. I have really enjoyed driving with this engine this week. Gear changes are nice and smooth with this manual. It is hell of a economical. So the Suzuki brochure claims 5.4 liters per 100 kilometers. And I am not very far from the claimed consumption without even trying. And I mean, if you are a petrol head, if you are somebody who pays attention to cars and all the specs and all that kind of stuff, then you probably know that it doesn't happen very often where the fuel consumption that is claimed in the brochure and what you actually get in the real world is the same thing, or so close. So that was really impressive. I mean, I'm sitting at 5.8, and that is super good consumption in my opinion. Like I said, I've had no problems overtaking with this engine, picking up speed on the highways, going up inclines, all that sort of stuff. I don't know how you would fare doing that in the auto version, but from my perspective, driving the manual, that has been a breeze. A breeze. No complaints about the engine, no complaints about this 5-speed manual. Like I said, I'd rather have the manual over the auto, and you save 20 grand in the process, so why not? While I've been driving the Baleno now over the last couple of days, there are some things that have stood out to me as plus points. A couple of things about this car that I really have enjoyed. One of which I just mentioned a little bit earlier in this video, was the fuel consumption. I really love how economical this car is, and especially with fluctuating fuel prices in South Africa at the moment, it's really nice to see such an awesome product offering such good fuel consumption. Another feature that I quite like about this car, and it might be a bit of a useless one, although not to me, is look at this key fob, right? Let me just show you. Look how nice and small and compact this key fob is. I really appreciate this because with some brands, their key fobs, no disrespect to any other brands, but with some brands, their key fobs can be quite like big and clunky and like quite cumbersome, like not so lacquer to have in your pocket or to, you know, put in your bag or carry around with you. So I really appreciate this nice small compact key fob. Something else that has also really stood out as a massive plus point to me is this heads-up display. It's really funky. It's even got like different little views that you can switch through depending on what you want to keep tabs on while you're driving. So you can either have it on like just your speed, for example, or you can flick it over to monitor your speed and your revs, or you can have it show your fuel consumption while you're driving. I think that that's really, really nice. Like quite a funky feature that I didn't think I would appreciate, but I do. And something else that I really appreciate about this car is that even though it is an urban hatch, which is not very big, you are so comfortable in this interior. Well, I am at least. It's very spacious. These seats, they sit so lekker. The back seats, there is so much space. I was really impressed by how spacious this interior is, and the boot size, 318 liters of boot space in the Baleno, which I think is very, very good. I mean, sometimes with small urban hatchbacks, you do end up sacrificing boot space, but with this one, that does not seem to be the case whatsoever. And one other feature, which I really think is so super cool, which I have not seen on many other cars in this segment and at this price point, is a 360-degree camera. A 360-degree camera on a car of 282,000 Rand. That's the price of this one, the GLX manual. 282 grand, and I've got a 360-degree camera with parking sensors and all the bits and bobs. I mean, how cool is that? I really am enjoying driving this car so much. Of course, I like to give the good and the bad in my videos, in my reviews, and as much as I really enjoy driving this Baleno, by the way, Baleno, I don't know, tomato, comment down below what you think it is. There are some things that do give away the fact that this car is built to a price point. And if you start looking around and start feeling around and fiddling with gadgets and gizmos and bobs and what have you, you do start to eventually see it. For example, this headliner, you can feel that it's not really the most premium material. Some of the door plastics or like center console plastics and things like that are not necessarily the best quality. Other things, for example, the radio speakers, they're not the best quality sounding speakers. So let me actually try and put it a bit louder for you and then you can hear. Yeah, it's not the best. Let's just put that softer because I'm not trying to get copyright striked. So unfortunately, there are a couple of things here and there. When you start to fiddle around with things, you can start to see that the Baleno is built to a price point. But with that being said, in my opinion, the pros do outweigh the cons. So even though there are some things where I'm like, I can forgive it. I can forgive it because there's so much other cool stuff and so many other cool things about this car that I think make up for it. So something worth mentioning, but in my opinion, not entirely a deal breaker. terms of how the second generation Baleno compares with competitors in the segment, it, to me personally, is clear as day that this offers extremely good value for money. So you've got a couple of different contenders in this segment. You've got the copycat, the Toyota Starlet, which is essentially a rebadged Baleno with a couple of changes here and there, which for the top spec manual is 15,000 Rand more, with a shorter warranty, a shorter service plan, and less spec. Then you've got the benchmark in the segment leader, the VW Polo Vivo, which is also a good car in its own right, make no mistake, don't get me wrong. But if we're going to compare apples with apples, if we take the top spec manual Polo Vivo, that is the 1 litre TSI GT. Okay, it's a turbocharged engine, that's nice. It's only got about 4 more kilowatts. It really outshines it in the torque though, because that's 200 Newton meters and this is 138. So you've got more torque. The only plus point that I can think of the Vivo, or 2 plus points, is the fact that it's a turbocharged engine and it's a 6-speed manual as opposed to this 5-speed. Other than that, you have an optional service plan. There is no service plan at all. And you also have a shorter warranty, and you also have less spec, stuff that you have to pay extra for over and above that 330 whatever thousand, which you will already receive as standard on a Baleno GLX. So in my personal opinion, in terms of the best value for money, it's kind of a no-brainer. No disrespect to Toyota, no disrespect to VW, but the facts are the facts, and I'm gonna give them to you. You can do with that information what you like. In terms of my overall opinion of the Suzuki Baleno, I think that it is a stylish, comfortable, and very well put together urban hatch that offers amazing value for money. And if you are looking at something in this segment or something in this price class, I definitely think that you should go and check this car out, and you should go take it for a drive and see what you think. Because at this price point, with all of this safety, spec, good looks, great fuel consumption, 5-year 200,000 kilometer warranty, 4-year 60,000 kilometer service plan. Yeah, there are a couple of letdowns, but I can forgive them. So if any of that sounded interesting to you, I highly suggest you go and check this car out. I think it's really cute. I really have enjoyed driving this Baleno, whatever. I don't know if it's Baleno or Baleno. Comment down below what you think it is if you haven't already. I'm Dean Friederich. Thank you so much for coming to hang out with me today and the new Suzuki Baleno. If you like this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Comment down below what you think of the Baleno, and subscribe if you haven't already. I will of course be doing so many more videos for you in 2023, so I hope that I can assist you with your car buying journey or your car buying process. Or if you're just a petrol head that loves to know more about cars, come and hang out anyways, come subscribe. And so I will see you on the next one. Bye.